And hello and welcome to IRL F2 round 12 around Russia today. I'm Sondre Sorhaug. I'm joined by Felix Negwer.
Hello everyone.
And we have 19 drivers on the grid today. So that's a good turn up. So let's get straight to who we think will take the two front rows. And do you want me to start or do you want to start yourself?
I could start this time. I'll go for Paco Suarez on pole, ahead of Nino after he won his first race of the season last time in China. Then I think it's going to be Jared and then Marcel.
Alright, so Paco, Nino, Jared, Marcel.
Yep.
Yeah, not a bad guess there. I, on the other hand, I'm gonna go with I think Paco will take pole, and I think we'll see Marcel in second, Luis Vassman, Marcel's teammate, in third, and Lee in fourth.
Alright, interesting. I mean, you can't really do too wrong saying Paco's going to be in the top 4 or Marcel's going to be in the top 4. But it's interesting to see that you don't think Jared will be within the top 4 or championship leader.
Yeah, well, I just think he'll be a little outmatched in quality today. Interestingly enough, we see that a lot of guys are on softs, but there are still some guys on hypers too, so
Yeah,
gonna
Nino's
be
coming
interesting.
into the pits again without even starting a lap, so he may chose the wrong sets of tire.
Might be.
But I really think you can really start on the hypers and then switch to the softs in the race. Russia is not too heavy on tire wear if you can handle those tire temperatures, but not everyone can, so yeah, that's just really important here.
Well, you do really have a point there, and I remember when we were racing Russia around PSGL in F6, and a lot of guys were struggling on the hypers. Like, you should be able to take them 10 laps, but that's like how long it will take before they're worn down. But it could just take a few laps before you've overheated them, and that's really the problem for a lot of guys there.
Yeah, especially if with the wheel, I think it's a bit easier to handle the tire temperatures, but with the controller, with the pad, you are really struggling most of the time to the tire pressures,
Exactly.
especially at tracks like Russia or Singapore. So I think the guys on the wheel will have an advantage today, but let's see if that's really the case.
Yeah, we'll see about that. In the
The
meantime,
first has sets its lap time 1:34.6 on the softs.
oh yeah, that's the
I guess
first
that will
time
be a
on
banker
the
lap.
sheet there. So in the meantime, though, some people might recognize that we do have a few new names here, and first of all, Nexus Dynamic isn't actually a new driver. That is James Sands, just his new account as he joined Nexus. Then that is the same thing with Nexus Billy, as he is Wide Load Billy, which is Billy Mossum. Then the only driver who is actually new is Try and Catch, and that is Thomas McIver, yeah, something. Not completely sure how to pronounce it, but gonna go with that.
Equal lap times from Paco Suarez and Lee.
Pretty much just 600 separating them.
So if that really is the true pace on those softs, we could see a close fight between the two of them. Paco I know that he was quicker in the test run than Jared. That's why I don't think Jared will be able to match him in terms of pace, at least in quali. As I'm now on the TV pod camera on with Jared, but he's just warming up his tires. I think he validated. I think he already started it up, but he's abandoned it. Oh, you can see Marcel 6/10 behind the two leaders. Quite a big gap.
Yeah, I would never expected Marcel to be that far behind, but...
Yeah, but you never know if there was any mistake or something.
This is a driver we have missed for a few races now. That is Kristen Thornton in Toro Rosso. And I think I remember that when he last raced, he showed promising pace and he was able to fight with the top runners. So if that's gonna be the case today, I think we'll have a lot of drivers fighting for the 3 podium spots, and I really think that is the case too.
And I really think it could be a case of a domination today. As you see, Paco Suarez goes 3/10 quicker on already used softs. So that's quite a statement from him.
Definitely. Well,
but interesting to see that nearly everyone, is on the soft compound of tires.
Oh, but look at this though. We do have one guy who's out on a lap on ultra soft tires, and that is Adrian Storm. And he, if I can remember correctly, he's gotten 3 pole positions this season, but he's still out after that first victory. And
starting his lap now.
That was his outlap, so as he goes on this long straight, a lot of possibility of getting an overtake here.
339 kilometers an hour on the main straight, down into third. Stays quite a long time in sixth gear. Then braking down into fourth. You can take that corner right here in fifth gear as well, but you don't have to.
Oh, I'll go down to fourth there. Want as much traction on the exit as possible.
In quali that should be better as well, but maybe in the race just to keep it a bit more smooth, to keep the tire, the tire temperatures down.
As
maybe in fifth gear.
See that Storm is coming up to the second DRS straight. Also great place for overtaking around this track. You know, in real life we see them really struggling with this track overtaking, but my experience on this game, you can really have some good battles around this track.
Yeah, so the fact that you have those 2 very good overtaking opportunities with the main straight and the other straight just at the end of sector 2.
Oh yeah, now, and we can see that Storm is slowing down, so he was not satisfied with that lap. Shall we see Nino Romanello? That is another driver who hasn't done a lap yet, and he should be going onto his lap right now.
Yeah, very much a bit. Let's compare the top speeds, 341 kilometers an hour to 339 kilometers an hour from Storm we had before. So not the biggest difference, but it might make a difference in the race itself.
341.
Yeah, 341. Oh, and Convicts got
so that would be 212 miles per hour, as most of the drivers use miles.
Convicts blocked the pit lane.
Yeah, that would be Chris. So interesting.
Wasn't he disqualified last time in China as well in quali, or was that Tim?
You know, I can't remember, but I can see that Christos Kalamides has retired without setting a lap, so
I guess that was a crash.
Sector 2.
Check. Yeah. It was a crash.
In the meantime, it
says
does not
still in
look
the race
as
director.
this lap by Nino will be good enough to, or it might not actually be that bad. It will be a 33.3, so it puts him 5th at the moment.
But still 5
quite a far, yeah.
Paco Suarez. Oh, and
Tim
Darren already has set 3 laps actually. Tim has made a lap on the ultras. But
yeah, he's done a lap on the ultras, but
away.
Tell you what, it really looks like Paco will be the driver to beat around this track right now.
Yeah,
but
I think so as well.
But you know, strategy and tire temps will be something they need to think about. As we are right now following James Sands as he is about to begin the lap, I guess. He might actually be on a lap. No, he is about to begin a lap.
Nah, he's on a lap, I think.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he goes only 2/10 quicker. No, does he improve? Did he improve?
Yeah, he improved, but not massively.
Only by 2/10, even though he was on the ultra softs now. So the ultras don't seem to be all too good, but like I said, you can actually qualify on the hypers, and it looks like Paco Suarez is going to do that. He's out on the ultra softs on his out lap, hyper soft, sorry.
Well, strange enough though, Storm is now on the soft tires. As Lee goes faster on the soft tires, 2/10 quicker than Suarez.
On the used soft tires as well.
Yeah, and on older. So maybe Lee is the man to beat today. I don't know.
But let's see what Paco Suarez does in his on his fresh hyper softs.
Well, right now we are following Storm around on his fresh soft compound as he's in sector 3 now.
Oh, and Paco Suarez seems to be held up by the Toro Rosso ahead of him. The Toro Rosso really makes hard life for the Spaniard. Yeah, he just gives him dirty and doesn't move out the way. And yeah, Paco Suarez hits him. And the Toro Rosso just didn't get out of the way. And I just saw it straight away. And yeah, that could be a penalty afterwards. If that is reviewed by the stewards. I caught it. And the Toro Rosso only just came out the pits on ultras, while slowed down, was very slow ahead of Paco Suarez all the lap long. And he just didn't move out the way. I don't understand why people do that. They just have to look in their mirrors and see, alright, there's a faster car.
True.
That's so unnecessary.
And cutting the pit line entry. Well,
and Paco Suarez needs to get in.
And look at this, Louis Vassman has gone for pole on the hypers now. In the meantime, who is on a lap right now?
The Toro Rosso, which held up Paco Suarez, is on a lap right now. But I actually know how that feels. I feel very sorry for Paco Suarez at the moment. He must be furious in his cockpit as he got held up massively, and it was so unnecessary by the Toro Rosso as well. He wasn't on a lap. Paco left enough space ahead of him, but then the Toro Rosso came out the pits, just slowed down and never looked in his mirror, and that's just so unnecessary, and that has to be a penalty after the race today. That definitely will be reviewed, and that could actually cost Paco a good starting position.
Well, he does still have enough time to get a good lap in though, Felix, so...
But the question is, does he have
He
a
just...
fresh set of hypers?
Yeah, he should have 2 sets if he's on the harder strategy, so... He should have 2 sets at least. As Christian goes second with his ultra soft tires, and...
Yeah, after holding up Paco, he will be second, and that could ruin his own. Oh, and on the ultras, the McLaren goes quickest.
Oh,
Jared has retired.
Fosbury has retired.
And he will be starting on the softs. And he's only in P8, so he could
And
even
Billy
drop
has lagged out, so
top
hopefully
10.
he rejoins quickly. Oh. Oh yeah, they're retiring. They're not going for another lap.
Storm has retired as well, so he would start on the soft as well. That could be another tactic, going from softs to hypers, but to be starting on the ultra soft could be a huge disadvantage. Paco Suarez seems to not have another set of hypers because he is out on ultras at the moment.
Trust me. Better to go ultra and hyper.
But Paco Suarez is on a wheel as far as I know, I think. Or is he?
Yeah, but still. If you take the ultras for, I think it's 16 lap or something, then you could take hypers for 10 laps. You will have such a big speed advantage in the end.
Yeah, but ultra to hyper is actually very, very difficult.
Nah, not at all. Trust me, Felix, I've done it. As we can see that Lee is in 5th, and I guess he's starting a lap right now. And he's
with Paco Suarez at the
hitting
moment.
Traffic.
Oh, misses the apex slightly. Oh, was slightly wide. I don't know if that's no. That's...
I'm just wondering, but have you noticed if Billy has rejoined? Alright, then there we have it. Quali is finished. And who has made the strategy work for them? So we have Joe Hollis on pole on the Ultrasoft tires ahead of Lee Kelly and Paco Suarez. Then we have Louis Vassman and Thomas McIver on hypers. Nino Romanello and Christian Thornton in 6th and 7th on ultras. Then you have Adrian Storm in 8th on soft, Luke Baker on ultra soft in 9th, and Jared Fosbury on soft in 10th. Outside of the top 10 we have James Sands in 11th, Tim Bristellins in 12th, Marcel Holler in 13th. Billy Mussam in 14th, Callum Anderson in 15th, Christos Kalmides in 16th, Charlie Sampson in 17th, Shane
And
Kaye in 18th and Chris Ryan in 19th as something's happened.
yeah, yeah, half of the grid got kicked.
And lobby glitched.
Great. Did you screenshot
So
the grid?
I have it.
All right, good. Then we can just. Great. The F1 game screwed everybody over again.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have a restart then.
All right, I say we are right back as soon as the race can get underway.
Well,
I think the stream has to be paused for a second until we got that sorted out.
then we just gotta wait on an invite from Jared.
Top 10 to start on the tires they qualified on.
That would be great if you did. Alright, so then we just need everyone to join quickly. Um,
Oh, great. Tim has made a screenshot of the starting grid.
yep.
So
Well, that saved me the time of doing that. It looks like most drivers are back already. Alright, who's not here? Billy and James. Well, James is here now. So just Billy missing right now. So everyone have an invite. And we just need Billy to join. Well, Felix, this leaves us with a little time with no action. if you are there.
I am here.
There. Well, so I do have the grid in front of me. So you wanna guess our top three for the podium today?
Yeah, I think, sorry that I don't have the names right now, but I still think that Paco's gonna win this race
Mm-hmm.
uh, ahead of Lee, and then the McLaren of uh,
Joe,
Joe.
I guess.
Uh, yeah, the ones who got pole, and I'll go for
I believe
Nino
that
didn't
was the
show.
podium.
Yeah, that it was the McLaren of Joe, then Lee and Paco.
Yep.
I'm gonna go for Paco, Lee, and uh, Joe.
Joe. All right. Well, I can see that Storm is going spectator, by the way, Felix. I
Oh,
can see that Storm thinks it will be a Renault 1-2. I don't think that. I don't actually think that. Jared is all the way down in 10th, so he will be struggling. He's also going to be starting on the soft tires. Yeah, I think it will be hard.
I mean,
And there we
who's
have
the
Billy,
lobby
so that's
host?
the last driver we needed to join. Then we just.
So we have Jared as a lobby host. So I don't know what he did with the custom grids. Maybe he'll be starting for pole then.
Oh, I don't hope that. But.
And Billy is left again.
Interesting, so. Oh, well, look at that. Because of the delayed start, we will actually have Jeremy Pope here too. If I can just find him. Could you put a message? Yeah, because yeah,
What
we do have
message?
one. Yeah, so then if you could put a message in the chat saying that Try and Catch need to switch the car to Red Bull as Jeremy now, and he has already done it, so.
All right. Then I'll just send a message saying go.
No, whoa.
Too late.
Alright, we're ready. Jared has called it that we're ready, so then we can just get underway again, and well, some people not readying up, so they're, I don't know why.
Probably they have their messages disabled.
Probably, yeah. That isn't a bad idea when you're doing a race, so.
Yeah, so understandable.
Well, that is it, and we should be going underway again, and with a full grid then. So, well, we can start with Jeremy Pope then, Felix. Starting 20th. He has started at the back before and just made the strategy work for him and just by staying out of trouble, ending up with a decent position. Do you think he can do that today too?
Maybe. I mean, he has every possible strategy available for him now. Um, so I think he has good chances to get up into the points. But I don't know how his pace will be in Russia. But I guess he'll be finishing within the top 10 at least. But I think he may even can get up a bit higher, maybe P7, P6, somewhere around that. But
Well,
I am interested to see what Jared can do as well from P10 as he crashed out.
you know, I
Probably,
think the difficult thing for Jared is that he's starting on soft tires, and he's starting like
yeah, that's true.
in the middle.
But
So
then
he's gonna
he,
be
on the other hand, he
attacked, and
can
yeah.
push very hard towards the end on those hypers. And he can push
Yeah.
all the way through the race as well. And the guy who are starting on ultras or hypers, they kind of have to manage their tires to not want them out too much to make the strategy from ultras to hypers or from hypers to ultras work. And Jared doesn't have to do that, so it's gonna be interesting, I
You
guess.
do have a point, and then we are on with the formation lap, and then we're just gonna check if everyone chose the tire they were on. Top 3 is on correct tires, 4th and 5th is on correct tires, 6th and 7th are also on correct tires, 8th, 9th and 10th, so they're all on the tire they should be on.
So after the top 10, everyone starts on either hypers or ultras, so no one's going for the softs.
No, and I'll tell you why. You can easily push hard through the whole race by going ultras to hypers, or the other way around if you can manage the hypers tire temps on the opening stint. I
I'm
would
actually not
recommend
too sure
ultras
about
first.
that
Oh, I am.
because of the temperatures, but let's see who's right in the end. Let's see who can push
Well,
the
you know,
longest.
me and Paco already tested that, and it worked brilliant. So believe me, it works. I feel bad for Storm and Jared. They will be on the better tire at some point, but they will also be struggling on the opening laps with just not the grip levels everybody else has. So, but I believe you guessed your podium, but I didn't guess mine. So, for me, I'm gonna say Lee. I'll say Lee for the win today, ahead of.
Meanwhile, Marcel crashed on the formation up.
Paco and Luis Vassman. I think that will be it. Of course, I'll probably be wrong in the end, but...
you don't think Joe...
Well, you know, I follow this season a lot now, and one thing I really know is that Joe... Yeah, he's really not the best driver at tire saving. And I think he's gonna struggle with tire temps today. So, shall we see if I can find a good view.
Right now, all 20 cars lined up.
And I'm getting... There we go. And 5 red lights.
Lights out and away we go. It seems like Paco has got a very good start from P3 again. But, oh, look at Marcel. He's already side by side with Paco. Maybe he can go for a run into turn
that is
2.
Oh,
that 4 wide. The first 4
wide
into the first corner. On the inside, Paco takes the lead. Oh, the Williams has spun. Lee's round. Joe has to cut the chicane. And then,
amazingly, nobody with terminal damage at least.
But there had to happen something that couldn't have gone
And look at this.
completely without any problems. It's very chaotic in the back. Oh, and a bit of front wing loss from the Force India, it looks like, in P8. Then behind the two of them.
Oh, and look at this battle behind there. They're going side by side behind each other.
Can Jared hold it? No, it doesn't look like it.
It is Jared against James, and no, it was Jared against
Lewis.
Ah, yeah.
And Lewis is side by side with him.
Oh, look at
so
this.
nearly was Marcel, but Marcel seems to have lost the back end a little bit. Oh, and Lewis tries to hold it.
Look at Marcel now. He's going for the switchback, and can he get them both? Ah, he doesn't really get past his teammate there, but he does get past Jared, and they're gonna end
Jared
up
goes
side.
down the inside. Oh, 3 wide to this corner. It's a very tight corner. Oh,
that's the front wing damage for
and Lewis. Oh, and there's some weaving going on ahead. Oh, and we can see try and catch has been overtaken by Tim. Tim has had a great start. He gained 8 positions off the start on his Hypersoft. Amazing start by the German.
Well, that is a good start for him. On the other hand, though, two front driver has pulled a little away from Nino. Joe and Paco seems to be the two guys fighting for it right now. On the other hand, though, there is much battling further down the grid. And we're gonna stick around the battle for... I guess it's the battle for 6th, actually.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, look at that, a big train.
Storm, Force India, Toro Rosso, then a Sauber, a Renault, and another Sauber, so very close there. But no one's really close enough to make it an attack, but now Storm, and there's been contact.
At that, but
I think Storm has lost a bit of front wing, and in the back, another crash from the Toro Rosso, who has blocked Paco Suarez in qualifying, as we remember. This time he collided with the Force India, who has to pit. He's got terminal front wing damage.
I believe, yeah.
And now they are so close to each other on the main straight. Oh, Marcel has to defend against Luke. Luke doesn't leave much space. Oh, and Marcel has to go straight on. Probably gets a penalty. Luke gets a penalty. Marcel gets past Luke though. Oh, and a bit more contact than the Haas and the Ferrari can't stop touching each other.
No.
Oh, there's been massive contact, and Marcel's into the wall. I think the Ferrari gave him a little touch on the rear, and that was enough to send Marcel Sauber off.
It was either a little touch or a net code. Can really not say.
Oh, and that's Jared.
Ooh.
That's the championship leader crashed out.
And where did that happen?
That happened right in that fight as the Toro Rosso and Marcel are colliding again. It's very chaotic here on the first few laps, and it's the championship leader out of this race.
And it's the Toro Rosso of Christos Kalamidas out.
Meanwhile, Lewis tries to go down the inside of the Haas, breaks late, pushes him a bit wide, loses the backyard through the contact, and nearly throws his car into the wall. But he's still side by side, breaks late. Oh, goes in a bit too deep, I think, but he can't hold it, and he gets past the Haas. But he's still not completely past. He just turns in. I don't know what Lewis is doing, and now the Haas has got front wing damage.
Oh, this is getting feisty. And this is
Jared,
really good for the Ferrari, though,
complaining in the chat. I think Lewis is a bit too aggressive at the moment, but they are 3 wide on the main straight. Lewis seems to be weaving a little bit. He turns in.
I wouldn't say that's really weaving. I think he's just trying to make sure that he doesn't tap one of them out.
But he has got definitely a lot of front wing damage.
Oh yeah, but he's managing with it, so... doesn't seem to hurt him too much, but look at this train though in the battle
But
for
there
seventh.
is no second without any battling right now. It's an amazing race so far. A lot of things are happening and we have so many battles on track.
And the lobby is glitching a little, I can see that now.
Why?
At some point, suddenly the
contact.
McLaren is leading. And I mean the McLaren who's down in 17th, so I don't know, but...
For me, not. Oh, and another bit of contact. It doesn't stop with people making contact.
Oh, and look at this, Tim is trying to get past the Red Bull of Thomas McIver. Looks to be starting to struggling a little with his tires. But
I'm sorry if we can't. Oh, and the Red Bull has spun. And now Lewis
he's
is
in
right
the
on his
battle
tail.
for
Lewis,
fifth.
oh, and he could have left a lot more space there. Very aggressive turn in from the Sauber driver. But I'm sorry that we can't keep up with everything that's going on track right now, but it's just too much happening. The top three getting away from each other, building quite big gaps between each other.
Oh yeah, but in the battle for fifth there is no big gap.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll try to get Jared Fosbury in for an interview.
We don't do mid-race interviews usually, Felix.
But that's just usually, let's say.
We'll at least wait until a point where there is less battling, because right now there is still this massive, well, it's not massive anymore.
Oh, the Red Bull is spun again. The Red Bull really struggling.
And he is on hyper, so he might have just overheated them. And look at this, down in 12th and 13th we have the Toros of Christian Thornton and the Sauber of Marcel Holler battling for it, both on fresh soft tires, so they're both going to the end. And Luis does have a point of what he's saying in the chat. Red Bull is probably on the time trial setup, not meant for the race. If you overheat your tires, then yeah.
Oh, and there goes Marcel around the outside of the McLaren. Loses the back end slightly. Can he get past though? They're still side by side. Marcel gets past. That's the Red Bull of try and catch. He really seems to be struggling. And I don't think there's any reason for him to continue.
Oh, there is always a point for continuing, Felix.
Oh, and Tim has spun! Tim has spun! Oh no! After this great start, he was in P4 and now he has spun. And it's down into P6. What a shame for the German in the Mercedes, and he gets touched by the Haas. What was that? Fly High, who started in last through joining only before the race starts, so
I don't know. I can honestly not say
Tim
what happened
but he waits for him and probably lets him through again. But he has made great progress. He just took advantage of all those crashes which happened in this chaotic Russian Grand Prix. He seems to be waiting for Tim though. But
well, on the other hand, we do have a battle for the lead. Nino is not that far behind Paco Suarez anymore. And the Williams drivers are looking good today in second and third.
Yeah, Lee has worked his way up into P3 again, but you can see that the leaders didn't struggle with contact or anything else. They are way out of competition for the others, 16 seconds ahead of P3. So Lee has took advantage of those crashes as well.
Oh yeah, because he spun
it's just so chaotic.
I think
And
he's
another
penalized.
battle for P6 at the moment. Oh, the Force India cuts the
Oh
chicane.
yeah, that is. Oh, and look at this. Oh, and the Force India has lost a little of his front wing.
Yeah, he tried to let the McLaren pass, I think, because he cut the chicane and probably had an
Maybe.
illegal overtake.
Might be, but now we have Joe Hollis and Adrian Storm battling against each other. I got to say, there have been a lot of incidents in the opening laps now. A few weird incidents too, but the two drivers in the lead has been able to avoid everything, and they are looking like they're flying away with it right now. As we see that Adrian goes on Joe's inside, who becomes the outside, and he's past Joe. And there it is, ultras against soft, so
Nexus asking for a restart in the chat. I don't see a reason for that. It was just a very chaotic start to the race, but some races just are like that. And you just have to deal with that.
There won't be a second restart now. That's unfortunate for Billy, but
Joe Hollis against Adrian Storm, part 2.
part 2. But will he make the move stick? Because it just looks like
Adrian
those
Storm
ultras...
comes back for more, tries to go around the outside of the McLaren, and what a move! He goes clean round the outside. A fantastic move by the Mercedes. Goes up into P6. He is on ultras though. Meanwhile, Joe Hollis is on softs but has pitted already. Oh, but Storm has pitted as well. So we are already on to lap 8 of this race, and it hasn't really settled down in my opinion.
Nah,
just
not
because
really.
it's so
We still
mixed
have
up.
these two battling it out. I do see that we do have a few others. One other battle at the moment. But right now we see Joe not making a move there. Will be difficult for Joe to make a move stick now that he's basically
Gets
just
a
on a tire with
tire
less
penalty.
grip. And penalties, I definitely believe that's going to be a factor in the end.
Yeah, especially when the gaps are under, I'd say under 6 seconds. They're closing up to fly high in the Haas.
Oh yeah, that would be Jeremy Pope, who started 20th and is up to 6th now. Well, it's actually 5th, I believe, but yeah. We also have a battle further behind, and it's between the two Sauber teammates, Marcel and Louis Wasman. And right now it just looks like Marcel is just following Louis around.
And as we can see, positions 1 and 2 are very close to each other. Only 4 tenths separating the two of them. And Paco Suarez has to defend on the main straight against Nino, who could win his second
look at this
race in a row.
Storm
Paco
is
tries to
going
defend.
for the move on.
Nino goes down the inside. Can he take the lead? No, Paco Suarez is able to defend for first. Is this run good enough into turn 3? Yes, it is. And Nino has to settle down behind him.
Nino is really on a streak nowadays with his win last week, his first podium in Italy, and now he's fighting for the win again.
And what a race we have upon our hands at the moment.
Oh yes, and look at the Williams. Can they bring the team back into the constructor fight? Certainly do have a good opportunity today with Fosbury retired. look at this battle though. Nino trying to stay as close as possible to Suarez. He wants to go for a move. Not really close enough this time. But he do have the long DRS straight. After the next few corners, and it will be within a good opportunity as James Sands sets the fastest lap of the race at right now. And it looks like they are lapping someone already. As we see that Nino will be trying to go around Paco's outside this time. Into the first corner. Will he be going for a switchback? Now he tries to hang it around
the little corner after turn 2, which isn't really a corner.
And Marcel has retired. I did not notice that straight away, but
nah, I didn't get that either.
As we get a beautiful helicopter picture of these two cars going around. And Nino with another penalty.
And he has crashed out actually. He has crashed out at the end of sector 2.
Broken suspension then.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate for Marcel. Not the race he was looking to get, but
maybe a bit of contact, maybe even with his teammate. I'll just check the race director whether I see something on the last few laps.
As of right now, we can see that Nino is going. Ooh, he's going for the switchback move on Paco. And there is a lapped McLaren who is.
And he goes round the outside. Can he make that smooth stick? That would be amazing.
McLaren
and he does it.
Make it easy for them.
What a move by Nino around the outside in that corner.
Did you see the McLaren, Felix?
No.
Oh, yeah, it is. I don't know what kind of glitch that is, but on my screen there was a McLaren there, and they were going by the McLaren on each other's sides. I don't know.
For me, everything is fine, but it seems like Nino is struggling with track limits a bit, to be honest. He seems to be off track quite often, actually.
Well, I know what you mean, and I know track limits around this track is just so frustrating. But can Paco get back at him now? Because it almost looks like Nino is pulling a little way away now.
Yeah, it seems like he can break that 1 second window ahead of the DRS zone, and I think he actually did as well.
He did do that, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll see now, I
guess. Maybe Paco's slowing down, saving some fuel, or he's just struggling a bit more for tyres than
I don't know.
Nino does.
No matter, this is the only battle we have on track right now, although I do see a couple of battles emerging further down. For now, we'll stick on this as Nino is going into the pit. That is an early pit stop.
He'll probably go into softs then, or he'll make it 2-stop, but I think he's going onto the soft. That could maybe be Paco's tactic, as he maybe tries to cool his tires, go a bit slower, maybe lose some time to other drivers at the moment, but to just keep his tires in a good temperature window to take them quite a long time into the race, to then switch onto the hypers. And I think that
Nino comes out behind his teammate, quite far behind too, actually, so I think he might have had a little wing damage.
Right now, before Luke.
Oh yeah. Well, at the moment, I do see that we have a battle further down. It's the battle for 12 at the moment between Jeremy Pope, Team Bristolians, and Billy Mossam. And they're all on soft tires, so...
But the tires from Jeremy are the freshest, only 2 laps old.
Yeah,
it did go for a late move down the inside. He touches the rear of the Haas, who has to go wide.
And I believed he must have gotten wing damage from that. Oh, and that is...
It has got horribly wrong in
what exactly did
that
happen there?
battle. Everyone just collided. I think someone lost the back end, and then someone hit the one spinning and went into the wall.
And
I think it was just very unfortunate. And it just
you can see that Lee is pitting.
Oh yeah.
And look at this, Nino is pitting again.
Yeah, is he glitched on your screen as well? On my screen, Nino's stuck. No, he gets out. Alright. The guys who do make their pit stops right now have a really good advantage over the others.
Yeah, but why did Nino pit? He was already on the first set of soft tires.
Sorry, who?
Nino. Mr. Romanello.
Nah, he just pitted onto new. Oh, do you mean
he pitted again? I don't know why.
Oh, you're right.
And
maybe he's got some front wing damage.
And look at this, we have Callum all over the back of Adrian Storm right now. Force India's not having their best race today.
Meanwhile, my internet connection has gone
south
completely.
Oh, look at this. Lee is now all over the back of Joe Hollis. Joe Hollis on 8 laps older. Soft tires. In the meantime, Paco has just probably ran away with this race now by Nino pitting again. Just saw some messages in the chat there, and guess they have a point. And that was Felix connection going south. So at the moment there is this battle between Lee and Joe, and Lee goes around Joe's outside to make the move stick. But he's not out of it. Joe is right behind him as Felix lags out of the session too. And look at this. Oh, Lee might have had... Sorry about that one. Lee might have handed Joe the position to get the DRS, I think. We can see that these guys are closing in on Luke Baker, the Ferrari, on 14 laps old ultras. And Joe is right on Lee's tail. But I don't think he will have an opportunity on this straight now, because I believe Lee will have DRS on.
Sadly, everything
and
seems
there Felix is back.
Wrong. I haven't got an invitation. Is the problem right now?
Well, the problem is that I'm in a spectator, so I can't send you one. So right now you gotta hope that one of the cars who's crashed out can send you one if they haven't left. Probably Jared. As we see that Lee is holding his ground against Joe, but Joe is all over him at the moment.
Oh, Jared has sadly won. Thanks, Jared, if you're watching the stream. You're a lovely person.
He is, I think.
Let's see if my internet can make it.
And
Kevin has sent me another invitation as well. Thanks for that. You're a lovely person as well. Seems like my internet connection is really bad at the moment.
You remember what I told you, right, Felix? Lap 16, that's when Paco will be pitting, and he will be pitting onto hypers. 10 laps on those hypers will be easy now. And it's exactly what he is doing.
I would love to see it as well. Ah, now I can spectate again. Everything seems to be going wrong today.
Kinda does, yeah. As we see that Joe will once again have DRS on Lee going down the main straight. Can he make a move this time though? And will Paco get... yeah, Paco got out well ahead of them. And we have yellows in sector 3, I don't know why, but Joe does not make a move. He does get a better exit than Lee, however, and might be going for a dive into turn 4.
He is close enough.
And he is
for a
doing
dive,
that, but
he brakes quite early actually.
Yeah. Didn't want to ruin their battle, I guess.
Meanwhile, Convix has made 12 laps on his hypers, now pits onto the ultras, gets a penalty for speeding though.
That's long.
Pretty unnecessary. It would be interesting to know why Nino pitted again.
Yeah, that is a big question for me. He would have been in the fight with Paco now if he didn't do that. So I don't know why he did. He can still get some good points, but he do have to catch some time though on the cars ahead. We do know that Luke has still not pitted actually.
He'll be pitching at the end of this lap probably.
And I'm just trying to watch out for any other battles.
Luke is not pitting. He tried to dummy him, pretended he'd dive into the pits but didn't. Meanwhile, Joe is right on the back of Lee. He goes down the inside into turn 2. Oh, Lee holds it, and there is a bit of contact there. Williams of Lee nearly spun round as Lewis gets past Luke.
That is impressive with those older sets of soft tires. On the other hand, as he said, Lewis passed Luke, and Luke on his old ultra soft tires should really be thinking about pitting soon.
The thing is, we don't know how it looks in terms of penalties. Who gets another
You do have a good point there.
That could really spice up things.
I've seen penalties pop up a lot of times. I have no idea who has what.
Tim has fun.
I do have to disagree with you on that one, Aaron. Joe needs to fight for that position as he will be going to the end on those old soft tires. But Lee does get back, and with that fresher set of soft, I do believe that in the end that Lee will end up ahead of Joe.
Meanwhile, a new fastest lap for Paco, that was to expect with these fresh sets of fibers.
Oh yeah. But look at this though, Joe is going for the move into turn 1.
Without contact again.
Today. Again. And he might be going for a move into this corner. He doesn't do it this time.
They concentrate on the exit, and maybe he can make a move into this corner right now.
lead defense, and these guys have been battling for a lot of laps now. It looks like they will be battling until the end unless
Lucas
Joe's
lost
tires
another
goes
spot,
up.
and I don't know why Luke is staying out for so long. He can easily go until the end
Oh yeah.
with a fresh set of hypers. I mean, he doesn't get a reward for staying out the longest on the ultra, so it just costs him more and more time. He could be able to finish in the points if he would have pitted a bit earlier, or if he pits within this on the next lap, but I don't really see the reason for him to stay out any laps longer, because he can
And
easily
when
take
you're
those hypers
mentioning
to
it,
the
we
end.
do have Nino doing a move on Luke.
And he defends every single time as well. That just hurts his tires even more. So a very weird strategy from Luke. Will he go into the pits now? Yes, he will.
And
In my
he
opinion,
does
that's
go
a
into the
few
pit now.
laps too late. 18 laps on those ultras is
Oh yeah.
2 laps too long in my opinion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lee can defend from Joe, but he lets it pass again. Probably because of an illegal overtake or something.
Look like it. This battle is right now it's basically the only battle we have.
But it's a
I
very
believe.
good battle as
We
well.
do have a battle
Reminds
down.
me of the Ding Dong battle the Renaults had last time out in China.
Oh, but look at this. Tim and Billy going at each other.
They were
I'm not
going at each other
exactly
before
sure.
as well
No,
already.
that is Tim and James, I mean. Not Billy. And
Oh, and Tim nearly spins. Oh,
lost it.
that reminds me of Sebastian
And
Vettel spinning
that
multiple
looks
times
like
this season.
frustration as he just stands there for a moment.
Yeah,
And he has
from the
retired.
session. Oh, that was very close between him and the race leader Paco Suarez. I know Tim has retired already, but the AI car nearly took out the race leader. That would have been horrible. No one would have wanted to see that, except from the drivers who are racing at the moment. But Paco Suarez really controls the race in the lead, and now Joe goes for another attempt into turn 2.
But
this time
Lee
on the inside
looks
line.
to be trying to go for a switchback move. And he's
they're
getting
side by
the better
side
exit. He
into
will have
turn
the
3
inside
now.
lane in
This
the
is
next
an
corner.
amazing helicopter view we have right now.
Oh,
Side
yeah,
by side
and
into turn
look
3,
at
into
this.
turn 4. Lee gets his position back. It's an incredible fight those two are putting on right now.
And
Joe
we got
with
some
50 laps on
beautiful pictures
tires.
there.
That really has to be a moment
Oh, but look at this
which
though.
always will be shown in an IRL F2 review video. I mean, that shot really was awesome. Seeing those two from the helicopter view into turn 3 in Russia, going side by side, and then the Williams on the outside getting down the inside into turn 4 and past the McLaren again. Storm has picked up another penalty. Meanwhile, Nino seems to be under attack.
Nino has actually overtaken Kristen for 6th place, but he's not out of it. Kristen isn't that far behind.
Paco seems to do the Lewis Hamilton from the last few years, or the Sebastian Vettel from the V8 area, just putting away, controlling the race, then just literally cruising, setting 1 or 2 fastest laps at some point, and just picking up an easy win. Obviously, the virtual safety car played in its cards very well, and those two in P2 and 3 are fighting.
What has really made it easy for Paco today was Nino's second pit stop. I have no idea why he did that, but that really handed Paco the win. Then,
I mean, look at the gap. The gap is about 22 seconds if you pull out, or 23. if you take away one whole
Yeah.
pit stop, one entire pit stop, it would have been very close between the two of them. But we gotta ask after the race why Nino had to pit one more time. Meanwhile, Nino's fighting with Lewis for P4, and he gets past. He gets around the outside, and the Toro Rosso can get past as well. And there's contact. The Toro Rosso lost his backhand, hits Lewis, and Lewis has lost a huge part of his front wing. I think that was a bit too aggressive from the Toro Rosso. He really, if he is in the pictures most of the time because he's involved in a crash or in incidents in
interesting
general.
scenario for you right now, Felix. Might Lee begin to back Joe up into Nino?
Meanwhile,
we could
Tim
see something like that.
Meanwhile, Tim is asking if we want an interview, and another part of the battle that lays it on his hands whether we want an interview or not.
Look at this. Lee, can he stay ahead of Joe?
Get side by side, a bit of contact, and another bit of contact made.
They keep it clean.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's hard but fair between the two of them. A lot of respect between the two drivers, I think.
Ooh, and Lee going very wide. On
the outside now. Does he back out? No, he doesn't back out. They stay side by side because he knows that the McLaren will leave him enough space. And it's amazing to watch this battle. It reminds me of the battle in China
between the two. Definitely a lot of
respect
between the two drivers. And you can definitely see that they trust each other enough to go side by side, corner after corner.
But Sondre, do we want an interview with Tim after the race? He asked for it.
After the race, we will do interviews. So the only thing we ask of every driver who is brought into interview is that they keep their cool if they've been involved in incidents.
We don't want to hear any kind of swearing.
Louis Marshall in the chat, imagine a Paco bottle.
I don't think that's gonna happen, Papa.
Nah, but look at this though, look at the gap, how much Nino is catching on the battling pair of Lee and Joe. He was 9 seconds behind a lap ago or two. And Joe is on old tires, so I got to tell you, knowing of Joe's big problem with tire temps and managing the tire, he's impressing a little now by still battling with Lee, which is on much younger tires.
Ooh,
Aaron saying Nino will catch, and Nino, if Nino steps on the pedal now, he could catch
Callum
them.
Anderson goes past Lewis into turn 1, into turn 2. Lewis on new hypers got overtaken.
Oh yeah, but look at this, Lewis will come straight back. Callum doesn't leave any room right there though.
Yeah, but he didn't have to be honest, because Lewis wasn't side by side with him. So, and I think there was a bit of front wing damage for Joe in that moment as he braked a bit later than usual, it seems like. And I think he hit the back of Lee, and I think he has lost a bit of his front wing, and that really affects your pace massively in Russia.
Yeah, he's definitely lost a little of the wing, and look at Nino, only 4 seconds behind now, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he could really gain from that.
Can he catch him?
If Joe gets past now, Lee will lose a lot of time in the middle sector because of the 90 degrees corners everywhere.
Oh, and look at this too though. God damn it.
Oh, Lee goes a bit too wide. And now, in the middle sector, I bet Lee and Joe will lose a lot of time through the damage of the Joe's front wing.
And you
Joe
can
goes
see
wide.
that. And Callum has been passed by Storm now too, so...
Joe gets another penalty. I think Paco can even have like 10 3-second time penalties and he'd still be winning this race. I mean, so many penalties in this race.
Yeah, and I believe the guys
Oh,
in
and Storm
second,
has
third,
spun.
and fourth
Storm
have
has spun and
penalties.
lost a bit of his front wing. Meanwhile, Lee gets passed around the outside, but doesn't make the mistake. Joe can hold it. Nino didn't catch those two within that lap. I think he'll be too far away for the last lap now.
He might be a little too far behind. On the other hand, Storm is out of the race and will not get any points.
Look at Paco. He pitted again for another set of hypers.
Oh. This is gonna be interesting. He's ending up right in the battle between Joe and Lee. Oh,
if he now
Lee
loses this race win, I'm sorry, Paco, but if Paco now loses this race, that's just, I gotta say that would be deserved because of the, yeah, it is kind of cocky that he pits again. He didn't have to pit again.
You do know what it remembers me about, right? Abu Dhabi and Fosbury pitted, catched Fosbury on the last lap and got the win.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not the exact same thing, but look at this too though. Nino is not far behind now.
Remember, Paco probably has a few penalties as well. So
yeah,
if he loses
I
this
think
race,
the other guys behind him has more. I don't think Paco would have done that if he wasn't sure he could pull it off.
Well, Paco gets attacked. Paco's under attack.
Oh yeah.
And actually loses his spot. Paco gets overtaken, so he definitely won't get the race win on track.
Well, there is one lap left, you remember?
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I
think you're a lap ahead of everyone, Felix. Thinking it's lap 27.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I was watching the battle for P2 as I saw 26 laps, but that was because Paco was over the line already.
Lee now keep it? Paco does have much better grip than Lee.
Oh, and look at Nino, he's only 1 second behind.
Oh, yes. On track, it's almost a four-way battle for the lead. And Callum has retired.
Oh, even though he was in the points, he now...
yeah, look in this corner. Paco just has a lot more grip than Lee has. I think the next battle we can... The battle we can see on this last lap is Nino against Joe, as Nino is only almost 6 tenths behind now. And they have one DRS zone left. And look at this, Nino is right behind Joe Hollis for third place, who will end up on the
picks
podium.
Up another 3-second time penalty though.
That might not be in his favor, but he will go for the move in this DRS straight. Who will brake latest? It is Joe, but that is very late. Wide. And Nino pulls it around
got the outside line and he is passed. But the question is, what is in terms of penalty? A great move from Nino, you have to say. Waited patiently. And a good recovery drive, even though he made 2 pit stops.
To the last corner and passes the line in first. Then we have Lee in second. Nino in third, but... Oh, it is Nino in third. They both had penalties. And Joe in fourth. Christian crashing over the line in fifth. What?
A great recovery drive. Oh, and look at that. Luke is battling with Lewis. Oh, and Lewis contact and Lewis is spun.
Oh,
but I gotta say, I think that's a racing incident.
Alright, there.
That, for me, at least, looked as a race, like a racing incident.
Just to check with you, is Charlie Sampson in 6th for you two, Chasmeister?
Yeah.
Alright. And Luke Baker in 7th, Louis Vassman in 8th. And the spinning Red Bull in 8th.
He's in 9th.
And yeah, Vassman in 9th actually. And
The Red
Billy
Bull goes
Mossum
8th.
will pass the line in 10th for the last points paying position. And then we have Jeremy Pope right behind. Oh, and Billy had penalties, so it's actually James taking the last points paying position.
Louis
And
asking
I believe
Louis in the chat
Chris
what he was
Ryan.
Luke, what the fuck he was doing to
Language,
phrase it
Felix.
there for a sec. No, I just
Yeah, but
used the sentence he asked.
But look
Sorry
at
about the
this though,
language,
Chris
but
Ryan
those
coming
were his
over the
words.
line in 13th with no front wing, so...
A very chaotic race in general. Paco Suarez controlled the race from start to finish. Wasn't necessary in my opinion to pit on the on the penultimate lap.
It wasn't necessary, but...
I think he just wanted to show off that he had the pace. And
he definitely wanted to show off there, and...
A bit unnecessary in my opinion.
Imagine if he didn't pull it off though, then he would have been a big bottle there.
Then...
But he did pull it off in the end, so... So yeah, so top 10 for you today will then be... In first, Paco Suarez. In second, Lee Kelly. In third, Nino Romanello. And I believe that is the first time both Williams drivers are on the podium. Fourth, Joe Hollis. Christian Thornton in fifth. Charlie Sampson in sixth. Luke Baker in seventh. Thomas McIver in eighth. Louis Wassman in ninth. And James Sands in 10th.
And now imagine Paco having a penalty, and Lee just would have been that 10th quicker. That would have been his race win.
The two drivers on the top step on the podiums, the only drivers without penalties too.
Lee with a great race in general. A
Yeah,
great battle against Joe Always Long.
Oh yeah, and that he didn't get a penalty when they were battling.
Especially in Russia.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can get the top 3 drivers in first.
But I'm sorry to say that, but I gotta leave already.
Oh, that is a shame, but I guess I will manage.
It was a great race. We saw some amazing battling, not some, but nearly the whole race was action-packed. Especially the start was, just pure carnage, to be honest. Everyone has crashed at some point within the first 5 laps. And a well-deserved winner for me personally. Paco is driver of the day. And let's see who's gonna be alongside you as a commentator next weekend.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure I will be commentating at some point in this season. So goodbye from my point and enjoy the interview.
So, that was Felix for you guys. Then it's just me and you guys left to do the interviews. So, let's see. Joe has joined. Let's try to see if first and third joins too. There we have Romanello, Paco. Alright, so the winner himself, Paco Suarez.
Hello.
Great race by you today. Might have been a little cocky in the end there.
Yes.
Very cocky in the end there. Well, first of all, what happened when Nino passed you? Because you had control and then Nino passed you and it kind of looked like you slipped a little away. Were you managing?
The problem was that I was having temps problems since the beginning of the race. Not from the beginning, but like I wasn't taking care of the tires, and when I realized I was losing the back end all the time, so I decided to slow the car a bit, try to cool them because it was impossible to drive. And he was catching me, and I couldn't cool them at all because he was putting pressure on me, so I had to defend. and then he passed me, and surprisingly he pitted early. So yeah.
Yeah, well, something to let loose here is that it was an early pit stop loose. As you saw, Paco took them tires a little longer, could go on to the hypers. And when you went to the hypers and Nino pitted again, I guess you saw the gap you had. What was your mindset then?
Um, yeah, I was like really surprised, because I was having a tight fight with Nino, but he beat it at another time. I don't know why. I'm like impatient to see his reason.
Oh yeah.
And after that, I just knew that I have it under control. Um, and I was really in that laps. I was really satisfied because, in a way, I'm sad because my teammate was out. But when you see that your rival in the championship is out, you have like a
Mixed
small
feelings.
satisfaction. Yeah, mixed feelings, exactly. And I was really happy. In the last laps, I know I was a bit cocky and it was risky, a bit, I could say mature doing that, but I just wanted the fastest lap, and I saw the gap. I saw that I had a gap, and I actually beat it, and it was by it was really really close when I came out, and
Oh yeah,
but
you
at
were
the
right
end.
ahead of them, and they were battling into turn one. And did you think you would be that close to them, or did you think you would have a little more to go on?
No, I knew it because you know that when you there is a thing on the display, or that, well, on the
Yeah.
display that shows you your theoretical position after pitting, and I saw that I was going to be third, but I saw the gap and I was like, it's impossible that I'm gonna be third. So I thought a lot about it. I asked my teammate that was watching the race, and I entered to the pits, and I knew that it was going to be really tight. But at the end, I stretched the braking zone. I think I I hit. I don't know if I hit it or he hit it me, Lee. But after that, I got a big gap, and although then Joe passed. No, who was it?
It was
Lee
me,
passed me.
Paco.
Yeah, Lee passed me. I waited to the DRS zone and just overtook him again.
All right. Well, in the end, it was a brilliant race by you. You were leading for most of the race, except for a few laps when we had Nino in the lead. Next track, I believe, should be Singapore. And for you on the wheel, that should definitely be an advantage for you towards all the pad runners. So, what do you think about Singapore then?
It could be an advantage, but I don't know. In Singapore, uh, it's like Monaco, but extended in a way. Like it's not so. Uh,
Well,
um,
I do know what you mean.
uh,
It's twisty, tight some
yeah,
places, but you do have a
exactly.
big issue when it comes to tire temps for pad runners there.
Yeah, I
And
know, I know, but I don't know. I'm not so good at it. So probably I'm gonna have the advantage of the tires, but in terms of driving nicely on the apex and all that, I don't know. So
all
yeah.
right. Well, you did catch a little up in the championship today, so congratulations on your win today. I believe that would be your fourth victory of the season,
I
or
don't know,
third.
third, fourth.
It's
Yeah,
the
probably
fourth.
third. Yeah.
Fourth.
Oh, four.
Yeah.
Okay.
So congratulations on that, and good luck for Singapore.
Okay. Thank you, mate.
You're welcome. And then second place would be Lee Kelly.
Alder.
So Lee, well, for a long time there, the most we watched was you and Joe, and that battle went on for a long time. So give us a little insight to that.
Um, yeah, I knew I did a penalty, so like I know I was fighting hard, but I did a penalty, so I knew as long as I didn't spin out that I was going to get a position. But then I just said that Joe got a little bit too aggressive, gave me wing damage, and forced me off half swim me once, and then forced me off track once. So I think I can't guarantee, but if I didn't have the wing damage, I may have been able to stick with Paco a little bit longer than I did, but it's very unlikely.
Alright, well, in the end you ended in second place. When you were battling with Joe, did you know that your teammate was catching? Did you try to like keep the pace a little slower than usual, or?
See, me and my teammate Nino, we knew that Joe at 12 seconds, so and also he was on old tires, so Nino pushed, and I was going a little bit slower than usual to help him catch up. So.
Alright, well that explains that. Well, that might explain at least how Joe was able to compete that much on his older tires. And well, talking about your team though, Williams with second and third, I believe that is the first time you're both on the podium at the same time. Do you like gonna make a real charge for second place in the constructor at the end of the season, or?
That's what we plan on doing. We're hoping. Me and Nino, we're gonna try and be consistent as we can. So yeah, our main goal is to beat the McLarens and be runners up to the Reynolds, who have been fantastic this season.
All right. Well, next track is Singapore, and how will that be for you?
I don't really know. I know that tire temps is a big issue, but I haven't really done it all, so I can't really give an indication to what I'll be like around there.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, congratulations on your second place, and good luck for Singapore.
Thank you.
And then we'll keep on with Nino Romanello. And Nino.
Hello?
There he is. So,
Hello.
Nino, first of all, I'm pretty sure most people wonder about this, and that second pit stop you did.
Well, see, I was going through the last sector, and the VSE comes out, so I just slowed down for a second, and I wasn't concentrating, and I hit the wall. Front wing comes off.
A little loss of focus there then.
I look back, and I'm just,
Yeah, I know what
I
you
know
mean.
I couldn't have the face, yeah, so.
Yeah, because you
Bit
were in
disappointed.
that battle with Paco, and at some point it really just looked like it would be between you and Paco. And like, when that happened, what were you thinking then?
I don't really know. I just didn't think I was gonna come anywhere near top 5. I think I was gonna come top 7 at least. So,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
talking about that, you weren't actually that close to top 3 before the last few laps, and you were catching. Like, and I believe you passed Joe on the last lap.
Yeah, I did. I think he had a few time penalties though, but yeah.
Yeah, he
If
had
he
a few
didn't,
more than you, I
I
think.
would have been, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
with another
So-
podium now, and this second part of the season is really starting to look like a much better season than it kind of makes you think like what the season could have been, and like what is the goal for the end now?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that I can keep challenging the top 3, 4, 5 drivers week in, week out, and see if I can get more podiums, more wins, maybe. But yeah.
Well, fair enough. So, Singapore then. Is that a good track for you?
Oh, I have no clue. I think it's going to be a bit easier for Paco. Well, not easier, but I think it's a good track for wheel users, I believe. So
Well, there is definitely an advantage of being
yeah,
on a wheel around there. So, but you can still make it. So,
yeah,
your hopes.
top 5 again. I think
All right.
really. Yeah,
Well, you
I
gotta
want
try
to be up
to
there. So
keep that consistency you seem to have right now in check then.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, definitely.
third place, congratulations on that. Good luck for Singapore.
Thank you.
And then we'll move on to the next driver in a few seconds. So, Joe,
Yes, I'm here.
you were in that battle against Lee for a long time, and well, it's for a long time it looked like you were going to end at least third, maybe second, but like I talked with Nino, in the end, you got passed on the last lap. How did that feel then?
I mean, I knew I had the penalties and he didn't have as many. I feel like Lee was just backing me up into Nino. I knew he could have gone a lot faster. I was on like 9 lap older tyres than he was, so I think he could have gone a lot faster than me there. He was probably just backing me up into Nino. So it was tougher to
Well,
get by, and then the penalties, obviously, yeah.
well, I mean, he did say that he did hold a little back, and definitely a team play by the Williams drivers there. Obviously a little frustrating for you, but nothing you really can do about it. You were just outplayed in the end, and right now I believe that you should still be in third in the championship, but I think that
Yeah.
Lee is catching up, and I don't know what is the aim of the season now for you. Is it to keep that third place?
For me, it's just to keep third. I think he's like 7th in the championship
Ah,
right
yeah,
now.
he's actually a little further behind than I thought, so
So I'm not
you're
too worried
clear at
about
the
him right now.
moment. But
And
for
I've
the
also pulled a lead over myself.
oh yeah, definitely. Well, for the constructor then, the McLaren team not having that bad of a performance today. I believe it was fourth and sixth, so it's not too bad. But
Yeah,
the Williams catched up a little today, and do you think you can hold them off?
yeah, I reckon we can hold him off. Yeah.
All right. Well, Singapore is the next track, and as I mentioned a few times, I know you've struggled with temps and tire wear, especially with the rears. So going into Singapore, knowing that the temps will be a problem, how is your mindset then?
I'm just hoping that everyone just drives into the barriers so I can just drive through nicely and then take the win.
Hoping for a massive crash between the others then.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't want to see that, but it can happen.
It's nice for me.
Well, it would be nice for you, of course. Well, um, so realistically for Singapore, what do you think? Where do you end up?
I don't really know what my place is on there, or other people's place, so I don't really know. Top 5, I would be
All
happy
right,
with.
well, it's
Top
allowed to
podium,
not know.
I hope I get a podium for once, because today I reckon I deserved the podium a bit more, but I know Nino
Well,
deserved it as well, but like,
you know, it's kind of
it went
hard
for those
trying
penalties.
to starting to
Yeah.
say who would have deserved it more. In the end, everybody deserves a
I think I
podium.
just deserved it equally as they did.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't it wasn't your time today. But well, you never know. Next time, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, fourth place isn't bad either. So congratulations on that. Good luck for Singapore.
Thank you.
And goodbye to you too. And I believe that the next driver then is oh yeah, Jared. I didn't see him first. Jared then.
Yeah, man.
So not the longest race for you today.
Just
But
some clowns don't know how to drive. So
well,
I'm not gonna swear or anything. I'm not gonna lose my cool. But
first off then, quali. It just seemed like nothing worked today, and
well, quality
quali.
went wrong because it didn't go on my ultras when I clicked my ultras, and then the lobby glitched out, and it wasn't being the best race today. Like two drivers who I will name is Luke and Louise. Luke, it like, you know, when you mess about in file up as you swipe your minutes off. Well, he swiped me off into the wall. He thought I hit him when I did not touch him. I give him enough room, and he's an idiot in that respect. And it ruined Marcel's race. He lost him a wing, and then Louise was making stupid, reckless dive bombs. And apparently it's his first time on the wheel today. Well, if you're going to use your wheel, practice first before you go and do stuff like that. As you can tell, I'm furious, but
oh yeah,
I have to give Paco the credit. He deserved the win today, and I probably could have got a podium if I was lucky. I had enough grip in the tyres. Tyres felt good, and I'm just, you understand how man.
yeah, I know
I'm
exactly how we feel right now. I've done.
Yeah.
I've been like this after races, so
Yeah.
well, obviously there wasn't any points for you today then, and it looked
points,
like you were pulling away massively before this race. Now it's just your second race this season. You're not on a podium, and right now the gap is shrinking by 25 points today. So
yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
So, well, Paco deserves it. You know, he's the only one who's now challenging me for the title, I feel. No offense to the other drivers, but I think me and Paco are going to be basically Lewis Hamilton and Rosberg and battling for this title. I believe he's got it the win next week, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try and win, try and aim for first place, get a podium, come back drive, fight strong. It's probably going to be a new me next week, not nice and clean, if you know what I mean, like nice and give a lot of people room. I'm going to be aggressive and attempt to win Singapore because it's a bad track for me. You know,
well, just to give you an advice though, Jared, it's not necessarily a good decision to be more aggressive and things like that, because you could end up in an incident by being that, and you gotta remember you still have the lead and you're still well ahead of Paco. So
oh yeah, I understand that. I'm not going to be like aggressive where I'm going to, you know, take somebody out. I'm going to give people still enough room, but you know, be a lot faster, be a lot tighter lines, a bit better moves of what I've done before. Basically like a China situation between me and Paco. So, you know, as you can see in the chat, Lewis has called me fuzzball. It's not fuzzball today, man. I've had a bad day. So. Yeah.
Well, I can also see that. I think that was Lewis too saying. Well, I thought I saw a message. It was something about Mercedes, or that might have been you who said that. And Well, hopefully we don't see any bad blood between you guys like it did end up between Rosberg and Hamilton a few times.
Oh no, I've got no bad blood with Paco. You know, no
Not yet, you
quarrels
mean?
or anything. So, oh, not yet. Maybe the last race we might have a crash, but you never know. It's me and him are best mates, so I can't fault him. He's done very well today.
Well,
So,
do have a pointer. Paco has done a good job today. Not much to congratulate you on today, but you're still in the lead of the championship, so keep it up, and you're probably gonna end up with it if he doesn't have one more bad race at least. Gotta remember, Paco gotta still keep performing too.
yeah,
So
we'll just see how it goes.
definitely. So good luck for Singapore then.
Yeah, thanks so much, mate. Cheers.
Ah, you're welcome. And next then is Tim, I believe.
Yep.
Ah, and there he is. And well, Tim, I gotta say, first of all, quali might not have been spot on, but I remember in the race that you were suddenly up to fourth or something, so you did have a pretty good start. But
Yeah, I got
then,
a good start.
but then something happened.
Yeah, I got a good start from starting into fourth. Yeah, I has a really good start. I done two positions up, and I got a few battles with try and catch for position fourth. In round six, my tires overheated, and I spun. Then comes Fly High, and I has a crash with him, and then I was to the
So,
box, and the race was over.
so it was down to the problem with the tire temps then when you first spun.
Yep.
Ah, well, that is a shame. I think we talked a little about it before the race, and that people might be struggling with that. And we did see it. We did see it with you. I think we saw it with a couple of other drivers too. So in the end, I believe you manually retired, as I think you spun right before you retired too.
Yeah, this
And
was I think the third spun and completely race, and yeah.
yeah, so definitely not what you were looking after today. And with us coming deeper into the season and less races left, do you think there is still a win up for grabs for you?
Yeah, of course, but in many races I got real problems with the tires and with other guys, and yeah, I do the best to become better results, and yeah.
Well, not really that much else you can do, but doing your best to become better. And well, next week is Singapore. Is that a track for you?
Singapore is not my favorite track, but I hope for a good result. I give all, and yeah.
All right. Well, good luck for Singapore then.
Thanks, mate.
And then we should have, I believe, one more, maybe two. Um, bear with me for a moment, Callum. Alright, so Callum.
Yeah, hang on, just let me see if my thing's on. Share.
Mm, oh, you have it
Yeah,
on
it is.
share?
Right. Yeah, it is now.
Yeah,
Right,
good. So, Mr. Anderson. Not
Mr. Sorhaug.
um not your best race today, and not the best race for Force Indias either.
No,
So, like,
definitely not.
what happened when you crashed out?
Um, well, um, I was looking at the stream, and I turned left, and I hit the barrier, and I forgot to brake, and yeah, crashed out, like hit the wall.
All right, well, you weren't the only one today doing that. There were a few more. And well, after that, obviously we didn't see more of you today. But for Singapore, do you like that track?
No. It's
Oh,
horrible.
that was well, that was a pretty clear answer. So, is that a track you hope for points, or do you just hope to avoid the barrier?
Both. Really, I just want to finish, and yeah, I reckon there'll be a lot of drivers crashing out with temps and that. So
Well,
it's not my best track, and I'm sure that a lot of other drivers will think it's not their best track as well. So that's. Mm.
well, not every track can be your best track, but as we're coming further into the season, the Force India is among the teams further down in the standings. You're in 8th before this race, just a few points ahead of Ferrari and Toro Rosso. Right now, what is the aim for Force India?
Finish like I don't even know, to be honest. Like finish, try to catch Haas, and if we don't do that, then just keep ahead of Ferrari and Toro Rosso.
Well, it's 31 points up to Haas before this race, so it's definitely possible. But I think,
Definitely.
well, Haas didn't get that many points today either, so it's
They
definitely
got
possible. Well,
Yeah.
nothing to congratulate you for today, so unfortunately, but good luck for Singapore though. Hopefully you'll get a better finishing there.
Hopefully. Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. And last but not least, Jeremy Pope.
Going on.
Jeremy.
Can you hear me?
There I hear you. Yes. So, Jeremy, first of all, congratulations on being this season's champion in the GT Sport League.
Thank you, thank you.
Also, very convincing victory there in the end. I believe you won by a lot of points at least. Yeah, almost 100 points. You won by 80 points? 74 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, first of all, just a little insight to like how come consistency, brutal, raw pace, or
Well, for me, it's all about consistency. I'm quick. I'm not the fastest driver in the world, but I'm very consistent, and consistency helps win races and helps win the championship that you need to get to wherever you need to get to in the championship. So that's just something that I work on. If I don't have consistency, then I'll just go just run laps for hours, and then once I feel that I'm in a good spot, then I take it on.
alright, well, it certainly worked as you did end up, as I said, 74 points ahead of second place, and your team also ended up with the constructor title there, so it was just a grand slam for you this season there. So next season, are you looking for another title?
Um, yes, I am looking for another title.
Alright,
I really wanted to win last season. I lost last season by like maybe 2 or 3 points, so I had to make that up.
alright, well, you certainly did make it up. Well, congratulations on that. Over to F1 then. Your race, I believe you ended up in 11th today, right outside the points.
Yeah.
You did start last though in 20th after missing quali, so after that, after not being there for quali, what was your thought? What position did you hope to get?
Um, as usual, I try to aim for between sixth and 10th. Try to be in the points. I know it's a little bit out of reach for like fifth and between first and fifth, but the race was good. I got the setup nailed down this week. Pace was good. I got all the way up into I think like either fifth or sixth on the hypers. Everybody was pitting because they're overheating the tires. I didn't have that problem as usual, but I saw explosions. Like I came up on him. I think he was overheating his tires and he
Yeah.
spun. And I thought I had hit him, so I had waited and slowed down. I'm trying to figure out like why he's not going. I said, I'm gonna just go because everybody else behind him was catching. And then I went and pitted for the soft tires, and I should have stuck it out on the ultras like I had planned on doing it. I would have avoided all of that drama in the back and the crashing and the fighting down the midfield. Probably could have got maybe seventh today, but
All right. Well, every race can't go as you want it to. Sometimes you do end up in things, and as I said, you've been very consistent in the GT Sport League. You lost out today in the F2 race, but Singapore next week then. Is it a good track for you?
yeah, if I can get through the first three laps without breaking my wing, I know how to manage my tires, and I know a lot of people overheat their tires, so that's something I'm banking on. If I can get maybe sixth, maybe fifth is what I'm aiming for. I know I don't have like the outright pace, but just based off of managing tires, I should have nice pace.
Well, I can tell you that by avoiding to do an extra pit stop, you could save over 20 seconds, so there's definitely possibilities, as you said, tire temps. Well, not the best race today, but still, once again, congratulations on your GT Sport Championship.
All right,
Been
thank
absolutely brilliant there, as I understand. So, and congratulations, no, and good luck for Singapore. I mean.
thank you. No problem.
So that should have been everybody for today, and then we're about to round up the stream in a few moments. First of all, my driver of the day today got to be Paco. He's been brilliant. He just was basically in the end the only one who didn't end up in some kind of trouble or anything, and just outpaced everyone. So he is my driver of the day.
I'm
Moment
Sondre.
got what?
May I say that at the start I fell down to around P15, so I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, you do have a good point there. So that is something Lee just mentioned that I had actually forgotten about. But yeah, Lee did end up far behind, so he's also up there. Not sure, I gotta think a little more about it then. But moment of the race is definitely 4 wide into turn 1, I believe it was, and by that I don't think I have anything more to add. Make sure to check out the F1 race tomorrow at 4:15 p.m. GMT. Next week, F2 and F1 will be on as usual, so you'll have F2 on Saturday at 4:30 GMT and F1 on Sunday at 4:15 GMT. So now I'll just have to say thank you to everyone who's watched. Make sure to like and subscribe, and have a good night.